Hey, welcome back to Chakras and Cusswords podcast. And today we're going to talk about the full moon in Virgo. And this full moon in Virgo is happening on February 24th, 2024. And it is occurring at 5 degrees in the sign of Virgo. The sun will be in Pisces at 5 degrees and the moon will be in Virgo at 5 degrees, creating this energy alignment of a full moon in Virgo. I love the Virgo zodiac. It's one of my favorites. It just feels fun. It feels beautiful. It feels very earthy, gorgeous, goddess-like when we look at that center of the Virgo area of duality, as Virgo is known to be around the area of the mindset and also analyzation, but also it has some properties tied in with Chiron as well. For the planetary alignment that is happening during this time, we are going to have the sun, of course, in Pisces and the moon in Virgo, of course, but we're also going to have a Mercury in Pisces as well. Venus will still be in Aquarius. Mars will still be in Aquarius. Jupiter will be in Taurus and Saturn will be in Pisces. Uranus will be in Taurus and Neptune will be in Pisces. And also we will have Pluto in Aquarius at 1 degree. So Pluto is starting to kind of move its way up to actual degree. We also have the North Node in Aries, the dark Lilith, as many would love to call that little vibration of asteroid of darkness, is currently in the sign of Virgo as well at 16 degrees, aligned with the beautiful asteroid of Chiron in Aries at 16 degrees as well. So this is creating kind of an alignment where we are going to want to look at that area of not only the feminine and the feminine goddess energy, but also the energetic alignment in our dark feminine state. There's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of that shadow work for this moon. Also, there's nothing wrong with creating intentions aligned with shadow work, and also finding areas of movement that feels beautiful in the shadow, that feels beautiful in that sometimes dark mystical energy. Also, when we're thinking about what wounds we need to heal with the goddess, what wounds we need to heal with that energy state of the feminine, of our own duality of being centered around is domestication, right? We're all kind of like those feral kittens. We're a little spicy and people try to domesticate us, but something just won't let it happen, right? We have that feral cat nature about us. And sometimes it's kind of like a balance. Like, where do I stand? Where do I stay? How do I kind of make this all feel aligned in this energy, accepting the whore in you in some ways, right? Accepting that area of pleasure, seduction, and allowing yourself to live in that fulfillment without having any hesitation of judgment, and not necessarily of judgment of others, because fuck them, right? Judgment of ourselves, that energy that we put onto ourselves because we've been taught, we've been preconditioned, we've been placed in this area where it's like when we dip into that energy that feels a little bit more mystical, feels a little bit more magical than what many would like us to resemble, then sometimes we would put that judgment on ourselves. We also have to remember that the sun is conjunct with Saturn, as we have the sun in Pisces. And there is that energy of, I guess you could say, restrictions. There is that energy of where it might feel a little bit restricted. We might feel a little bit unwilling to work through the difficulties. Also, we have the moon, the full illumination of the moon, of the feminine energy of Virgo, being constricted as well with opposing Saturn. So it might be a time that we create that area of self-doubt in our own feminine state. And it might also be that energy where we kind of like holding deep, maybe resentments towards certain things that we weren't able to explore. So allow yourself to release, especially when it comes to that energy of the feminine. Allow yourself to release that area of limiting self-beliefs and also that energy that might be kind of like holding you back at times. But what's beautiful about this full moon is we also have Venus with a conjunction of Mars, and this is allowing us to experience those areas of intimacy, of pleasures, of passion. So it would definitely be one of the moons that you would want to tap into the higher energy, especially if you are with a partner that you feel secure with, and allowing yourself to experience that moment that feels passionate, creative, and also feels full of energy. So it's definitely a time to have some fun. And it's also a time to explore new areas of the feminine, and introduce some new areas to your overall state that you can introduce to the relationship, especially if you're planning on doing a little bit of ritual in between the sheets with the moon illumination, if you know what I mean. So it's definitely a night of embracing enchantment. And it is that energy that feels very magical. It feels very intriguing. It lets you look at the cosmic wonders, right? So we will basically gather in this luminous energy of the full moon as the sparkle of the goddess energy is right above us, right? And take it all in. So in astrology, the full moon always carries its unique energy, especially depending on what zodiac it is. And for the Virgo, it is very known as that area of the maiden, but it's also known as the area of imperfections as well. As like I said, it has that duality. But we can't always be yearning to be in this area of purity and perfection. We have to explore and also start to tap into our deep energy of, some might say, our feminist goddess state that feels a little bit unrefined. It feels a little bit more centered around ambition, and it feels a little bit more outgoing than being in a state that feels like a potential blend of perfectionism. It's a chance to allow ourselves to grow. It's a chance to allow ourselves to grow spiritually, as it is in opposition of the Pisces. So let's get into a reading for the collective. And this will be a cosmic reading of a couple cards. I will be using 2 decks. I think I am going to definitely use one of my favorite decks, which is the Star Seed Oracle deck. It is definitely one of my favorite decks. It's beautiful illustration. I believe the deck is by Rebecca Campbell and the illustrations are by Danielle Noel. So it's a beautiful deck. I've used it many times before. It's one of my favorites, and I'm excited to use it again. I just love looking at the illustrations and getting the cosmic energy from the universe. I do want to, since we are looking at areas of astrology, because we are tied into the full moon in Virgo, I would like to use my other deck for basically looking at what it is that we are centered with in certain spaces of energy, of elements and movements, and where we can practice these. But I'm going to use only half of the deck. I know it sounds crazy. Why would you only use half of the deck? Because one side of the deck is very much centered around teaching people certain things in astrology, and I don't necessarily want to go into that right now. So I just want to look at certain aspects of messaging. So we will be using half of the deck of Black Moon Astrology. And actually, we're going to do a 3-deck card pull, which sounds crazy to some people. That doesn't even make sense. But to me, it makes all the sense. And then we're going to use my other favorite Oracle deck. So we're not using any tarot today, friends. We're just using Oracle. And this is the Moonology deck. And we will start in my normal pattern. I just want to give these cards a little few shufflings, even though I do shuffle them in between each pulling, but I definitely want to give these cards some more of a shuffle. Like I said, these decks are beautiful. I love the illustration. I love the messaging and meaning. So for those who know my regular rhythm, it's not going to change. My regular rhythm stays pretty consistent. And we will be going with the fire signs first, and then we will go to the water signs, the earth signs, and then the air signs. Also, all these readings are done with pure intentions of love and welcoming that energy of what's to come, especially in the area of the feminine, especially the area of the goddess state. I want you to think of that energy of the goddess and what it really means to dip into it. This is going to be a fun reading. It's not going to be like any reading you've ever had, because who would use 3 decks? Who would use 3 decks? Well, 2.5, I guess you could say, right? 2.5. I would, because I love the hidden energy. I love the energy of transformation and personal growth that comes by just trusting the universe and just trusting the process. So let's get into it. So the first reading is for the fire signs. If you are a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, that means that you are a fire sign. So the first thing that we want you to really tap into is surrender to the sweetness. The Venus energy, the energy of pleasure and joy, make love to life. And when I think about the sign of Virgo and making love to life and making love to the pleasures and the ability of what's to come, nothing says that quite like a Virgo zodiac full moon. I mean, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It has that area of possibilities, right? And then we are going to look into our area of our 10th house. So when we look at the area of the 10th house is about our energy of career, our energy of what it is that we want to leave behind, what it is that we want to look for, what it is that we want to have that area of success. Also, it's known as the world energy. How does the world see us? Creating intentions towards surrendering to the sweetness and allowing ourselves to have that sweetness in creating, especially around the house of the world, the house of the 10th. So look at your 10th house, see what's aligned with that. See if you've been wanting to make intentions or if there's certain aspects that you need to release towards the 10th house. Also, I want to say that if you have been feeling like something is holding you back when it comes to your 10th house placement and that energy of the 10th house, then I want you to release that area of limiting self-beliefs. Also, what do you need to release is the third card. Look at areas of intentions of what it is that we can release, that wounded area, as this moon energy is aligned with Chiron, as we have the North Node and also that Chiron energy really shining through. So what is it that we need to release? What it is that we can create these intentions towards to letting go, and look at that energy for inspiration. Look at that energy that feels a little bit hopeful in letting go of something. And sometimes letting go of something is like some of the hardest. It's like downright the hardest, right? If that's a relationship, if that's a career, if that's time, like, sometimes I I sit there and I kind of regret, like, oh, should I have took the position that I have, because now I'm, in the office 5 days a week versus 4, or, but you have to weigh out the options. And that's kind of that area of finding what works for you, especially around the 10th house. So looking at that energy, what it is that I need to release, where it is, do I feel the most energy in my space? So for the next group of element zodiacs, we will be going to the water signs. If you are a Scorpio, if you are a Pisces, it's Pisces season. If you are a Cancer, you are a water sign. So this is for you, and this is your guys' message, okay? For you, you are the messenger. Ooh, there's a lot of Cyrus energy, bringing up the harmony and balance. And when we think about being the messenger, a lot of times what it is that we want to express to others, what it is that we want to show the world, where it is that we are using our energy of expression. So create intentions on allowing yourself to open up that throat chakra, to allow yourself to feel that gain of knowing that you can communicate to the world, allowing your message to be not only heard, but really truly listened to, allowing yourself that energy of space, of gently taking it all in. Also, it would be a good time for you to remind yourself that the magic is not just the stuff that we see in fairy tales, but it's really living and breathing, and it is this natural flow that a lot of times comes to us, and we totally forget that this world is a very beautiful, magical place, right? We kind of let that area of magic fall, and it doesn't need to fall. It's still here. It's still here for us to create intentions. It's still here for us to move forward. And when we look at our destiny with our next card, Yod the Destiny, where is it that we are putting our energy of alignment as being the messenger towards our destiny? What it is that we see, if it could be in areas of organization, if it could be areas of self-care, if it could be areas of gaining more wisdom or philosophy, or sharing that wisdom of philosophy, to have it, right? To have it and to continue to use it. Sometimes I think, like, when we are taking in this energy of destiny, we sometimes start to compare ourselves to others, right? I've done it. I'm sure you've done it. It's just the normal process. We get into this comparisons, right? How come they got this? I don't have this. How come, we can't live in the how comes, or that energy of comparisons? Our destiny is our own earthly existence. It's our own sacred honor to be here and create areas where we feel aligned and we have embraced what it is through transformation and what it is that feels extraordinary to us. And if it makes us feel a little bit better, a little bit more sacred, to allow ourselves, to give ourselves that permission to create our own destiny. Also, this is a good time for you to know that the conclusions are within reach. And when we think about conclusions being within reach, I want you to understand that sometimes when the universe sends us messages, if we've been asking for answers to be answered, if we've been asking to kind of have a new perspective on certain things, that we allow ourselves to take in the conclusion, even if it's not the best thing that we wanted to hear, or it's amazing because we know we're up leveling, we know that we're moving forward, but it's knowing that something is coming that's going to allow us that peace of having the conclusion, allow the goal to come towards a little bit of a completion, allowing that energy to fill in a more of a radiance, right? Sometimes the worst part is not knowing. And it sometimes makes me think of like when, like if you're sick and you don't know what is making you sick, right? You don't know like what is the root cause. And then finally you get the conclusion, you get the cause, and then you know where to start to fix it. You know where to start to move forward in creating that energy of something new, of a problem being solved, right? And the conclusion is coming. For the next zodiac, we have the water signs, and the water signs consist, not the water signs. We just did the water signs. Oops. For the next zodiac, we have the earth signs, and the earth signs consist of the Virgo, and it's a Virgo full moon, yay, and also the Taurus, the Capricorn. So if you are one of those zodiacs, you are a earth sign. For the earth signs, courageous peony. And the peony is that little beautiful flower that's so big, it's so gorgeous, it's so delicate, but it's so beautiful, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. So this is telling me that some of you need to get out there. Get out there. Get out there, make the first move, get that movement going, let that attention, let that affection, let the world see you. Let them see you. Let you live in that moment of seeing what it is that you have to offer, not only the world, but what it is that you have to offer yourself, allowing yourself to live in that strong mindset that Virgo full moon energy is radiating upon you. Also, for the Virgo, it's, for the earth signs, this is a beautiful time to like get outside and dance in the leaves, stargaze, have a moment with the earth and really enjoy this moment. Also, moon soul. Wow. So when I think of moon soul, I really feel that while the sun is very like our spirit sign, our moon resembles the soul, the calming nature of the emotions, of the area of tapping into our cosmic energy, especially around the feminine. And since this is around Virgo, that area of transformation around our unique self, it's also a good time to spend, in nature, if we can, through meditation, not just for the earth signs, but for all the zodiacs, to get out there and do some meditation. And I have a lot of guided meditations on this channel as well. Also, it's a great time to allow ourselves to open our hearts. Open our hearts. And opening our heart is the gateway to the soul. Creating those solar intentions, those soulmate interactions, and feeling allowed and feeling able to trust ourselves in those relationships, allowing ourselves to trust that energy of certain partners, our spiritual fulfillment, our area of wholeness and healing and moving forward, especially for the earth signs right now. Also, this is a time for you to work as an earth sign. This is a time, not just you, but all the zodiacs, but for the earth sign, since this card says it, we're going to talk about it. This is a time to work on that root chakra. Okay, you are and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So this is how I know that maybe anxiety, that area of anxiety has been maybe weighing on you, weighing on your shoulders, weighing you down. This is a perfect time for grounding, working on that root chakra, allowing yourself to feel safe in your pure essence, allowing yourself to feel safe in your authentic self, allowing the grace and the purpose of faith and magic to continue to hold value, allowing yourself to know that you are safe, your designed path is for you, and allowing yourself to live in your spiritual journey. And that is for the earth signs. Whoops, I kind of banged the computer. So if you saw that shake, that was me banging the computer. I just want to remind anybody who is listening to this podcast that you can watch the video format on Spotify. Also, you can head on over to the YouTube channel if you would like to see the cards and watch the video format. So this is really a magical night for us to step into our path of magic, of illumination, like I said. So we are going to go on to the last zodiac element, and this is for the air signs. And if you are an air sign, that means you are an Aquarius, you are a Gemini, or you are a Libra. Okay, so let's get into it. So for the air signs, wow. Okay. Here's a little, but wow. This card, the 7-star sisters. And there's this story that goes behind the 7-star sisters. I'm not going to talk about it today. But it is on my TikTok channel, and you can Google the 7-star sisters. And it gets into the story of how they were cast away to the sky. But this card is actually seen as an energy of good luck, good light, and good fulfillment. It is allowing ourselves to illuminate our strong path, illuminate the area of being blessed, right? It's also to bring of birthing creations and area of expression. So this is a magical card. Also the part of fortune, of increase is coming. So I'm feeling a lot of luck, a lot of new inspiration for the air signs. Air signs, this is amazing. This is really, you are stepping into this magical, whimsical area of moving forward. So create those strong intentions, create those very strong intentions, create those strong rituals of where you are doing it every day. The consistency is every day, and that's where you'll really see the reward. Also, this is a time for accepting the power of change. These cards together for the air signs really flow quite nice. Expecting the power of change. This is allowing yourself to change. Allowing yourself that dynamic of holding the change towards you, allowing yourself the permission to change. My dog's kind of going a little crazy, but but allowing yourself the power of change, having the fortune, taking in that energy of allowing the blessings, giving yourself permission to enjoy the blessings, to be frequent with them, to take them for what they are, and allowing yourself. So I see a lot of beautiful, strong intentions around success, around journey, if it could be relationships, personal growth, but really starts with the area of knowing that no matter what, your journey as being aligned in a collective. And really, when I think about the 7 sisters, this story, in all honesty, of the 7-star sisters kind of is a very magical story. I don't know if you guys want me to get into it. I mean, it will take a little bit of time, but if you want to talk about it, we can definitely talk about it. I just want you guys to understand that this is the area of what it means to be aligned with the cosmos in the collective. So the 7-star sisters, in all honesty, come down from the area of astronomy versus Greek mythology. And it is known as the time of the seven sisters, being commonly referred to Pleiades star cluster that sometimes we can see in the sky, right? And this star cluster is visible from Earth, and it's visible to the naked eye. And there's 7 of them. It consists of the stars being surrounded by this natural reflection. Well, the mythology behind them basically goes like this. And so I don't have it completely memorized, but this is what I kind of remember. And I looked up a little bit of who was involved. So the Pleiades 7-star sisters are the daughters of the Titan Atlas. And he was of the sea nymph of Pion. I don't know. The most well-known story of this myth pursued that the Orion, there was a hunter, and I think also Zeus is involved. But there was a hunter, right? And they were scared that Zeus was going to, they were scared that this hunter was going to be pursued, that the 7-star sisters were going to be like captured and possibly really hurt, like tortured and have a lot of trauma by this Orion the hunter. So to save the sisters, Zeus transformed them into stars. And the constellation of the Pleiades, each of the 7 sisters is a representation by the star cluster. So in areas of what it means when we think about the 7-star sisters, of how having this symbolic energy, it resembles that energy of guidance, protection, and the feminine. So while people were trying to cast harm on them, technically they got saved. Even though they did get cast away to being stars, but it's associated with times of sisterhood, of the collective intuition, and also that area of the spiritual awakening. So it is a beautiful moment. It is known as an area of drawing inspiration from the 7. 7's known to be very lucky and of this 7-star cluster. So that is the significance of the 7-star sister, and taking it up for a part of fortune of increase, allowing ourselves to increase, allowing ourselves to grow in our energy of where we are, and then also accepting that powerful change that is coming. So I want to thank everybody for checking out this reading, and please comment, like, and subscribe, and also share this podcast or this video to somebody who might need some inspiration on what to do for their full moon in Virgo. So thank you so much, and everybody have an amazing day. Bye.